Today, we get to build our own Superman. That's right, we have to order from multiple places to get multiple things to build this guy that everybody knows as Henry Cavill. It's unofficial. It's officially unofficial, but whatever. In this video, you'll see I bought one head, which is wrong. And then many weeks later, I actually got a hold of the correct one. Anyway, enjoy. And if you want to see more about this figure and a couple ways to customize it, I really recommend checking out the video from Mustafa over on YouTube, which is where you're at right now. I'll link it down in the description. Anyway, moving on. So let's take a deep dive into this figure and see why did I have to go from multiple places to do multiple things to build this guy. Let's start with the figure, the body. That's right, the body is separate from the head. I could have said that. I didn't. I'm telling you now. Body's separate from the head. For whatever reason. This guy's labeled as Mr. S. I guess that's good enough. Now this is from the company Manipple. And then you get this logo here. I don't know. It's not really their logo, is it? I covered them on the Deadpool review where I had an upgrade of a couple pieces. Check out that video as well. So let's open this thing up because you're here for this, not for Deadpool. Look at that. That looks like right out of Justice League. And it's just darkened enough so you don't know what it is. But there's a nice little insert. Get rid of that. We got all this, whatever that means. Let's check it out. Translate. Okay. So there's a lot of warnings that this guy is not for long-term play. And you might have issues over time. So it's just like a short-lived figure. Oh boy. Anyway, let's take a look. But you know, what happens when you get things like this is you have these really high-end, high-quality figures that are made from special things to help them look a certain way. But that also comes with the problem of over time, they're just going to deteriorate, or you're going to have issues with, you know, keeping them in a pose for a long time because why? None of the words are coming out of my mouth right. You might have problems with figures that are high-end, kind of like the Batman from Mezco, where the joints should be in a normal, neutral pose for long periods of time, because if they're in a pose, then it might damage the product. All right, he's pretty protected out of the box. You get a few extra hands. You get a stand, which is really nice. Now, if you're wondering, this body came from 5K Toys, of course. That's like all I shop with now. So the soft goods, this is like a very soft, kind of stretchy fabric. It's almost silky feeling. It's interesting. It's heavy too, which I think is going to help with this scale getting the kind of draped look that you want on a soft goods 1/12 scale figure. Because generally 1/12 scale with soft goods, you really run into stuff where the natural weight of something at that scale where the thickness just doesn't work out. And I think we're going to have a nice look here. Now, the biggest issue with this is that there's no wire in there. It's not a wired cape. So for dynamic poses, it's gone. Out of the question. Unless, hold on, did I put one on the screen? Was that good? All right, so we get a pretty wide assortment of hands, which is really nice. I'm happy to see that because sometimes you really miss out. You know, for brands like McFarlane, you don't get many options in the realm of hands. Plus, we're getting a flight stand, which is great. You get this one, which is the old crotchy support thing, which can be a good setup depending on your pose. And then this one, if you need something really dynamic or you just need them up higher in the air, this is going to be really good. And I've seen this before from another brand, but it's actually like spring loaded, which is great. And you can bend it, which is awesome. And the base here, which is pretty simple. It's got something going on here at the bottom. I don't know if this piece here is just for weight or does it do something that I don't know about. This is weird. I guess there's just something heavy in there for weight. Or, no magnet. Anyway, so let's take a deep dive into all of this and then we'll look at what is in the box here. So starting off, we get this nice relaxed hand, which is looking pretty good. I mean, the sculpt is nice there for a 1/12 scale. Can't really see his fingernails though, which is kind of weird looking. And then you get this one, which is gripping something that we don't have. This looks like he could be gripping that spear thing from the Justice League, which isn't in here. I wonder if they make extra parts with other figures. Maybe if this brand, I'm sure, does one of the versions of Batman from the Justice League, probably. And then you get a punching hand, which is looking pretty nice. Now you can see the fingernails there a little bit better. You get this one, which is kind of like a, you know, a stance hand or just a stop motion, whatever. You know what? You do what you want with that. You don't need me to tell you what that hand's for. And then you get this one, which also is like some kind of gripping hand for something he doesn't have, which is pretty interesting. And on by default, he's got these just ultra relaxed hands. It's a good neutral pose. It just kind of looks like he's standing there versus these, which do kind of look more of like a, you know, some kind of fight move thing. Looking at the body itself, it's pretty good. I mean, the neck is fine. It's got some kind of texture to it to kind of simulate skin. Whether that's successful or not, I don't know. You tell me. But I'm the one reviewing it. I should tell you. Human eye, it's fine. It's not necessary because at this scale, you're not really seeing that texture. Now, this is okay. The reason I recommend watching that other video is that he goes into details of like kind of customizing it to make the abs look better and a couple other things like some touched up paint areas. Check it out because you may, if you customize it all, may enjoy doing that for your own. I do agree that it needs those changes, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. I mean, this is like very much his suit, right? You just can't really see his abs in there, but I can feel them. One thing he says in that video is that this is made much like the actual suit from the movie, and you can kind of see it here. When the light hits it, there's actually like a silver layer underneath of this, and there are areas that you kind of see through that helps hit the highlights, which is pretty wild. So they really actually went through the extra efforts of building it to look like Henry Cavill's Superman. Now, rest of the details are certainly nice. I mean, there's a huge stitch in the back, but who cares, because that's where the cape is, so it looks good. I like what we've got going on here. I am worried about all these joints though and bunching up, and you know, there's a downside with some soft goods at this scale where you get this kind of look where things bunch up a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the knees look a little weird. Maybe the legs are a little short for a Henry Cavill, but the rest of this looks really nice. And the texture here on the boots, pretty nice and pretty standard ankle joints. Rockers and all that stuff. So I think you're going to be able to get some pretty decent range out of this thing, but you can feel the tightness through here with the stitching. So you don't want to go too far, obviously, because you could bust your soft goods, which would be really bad, because once that's broken, that seam, that's it, game over. Double jointed elbows. There's rotation at the biceps, but of course you're going to have to kind of really be slow and delicate with this stuff, so because you never know where the joints are and how to get them back. You got some ab crunch, which is really nice. And it goes back perfect, which means you're going to get some nice side to side, some great twisting. Again, you just have to be limited by destroying your fabric there. You got some waist articulation in there, which is really hindered by the soft goods. The double jointed knees, rotation, the hips. So this is pretty loaded down with articulation, which I like. And again, talking about the cape, I mean, it's got a really nice touch to it. It's like moisture wicking or something. The downside being that, yeah, there's no wire in there, which really limits your use for cool looks. You can't have any wind-blown looks unless you blow wind. You have to put a fan on your shelf. All right, moving on, because you've had enough of this without a head on it. In here, we have our Henry Cavill face, and then we get two neck pegs. Now, this one says Mafex on it. This one doesn't say anything, but on the bottom of the jar, I have an SHF, so I assume it just somehow, whatever. And then that mentions SHF and Mafex there. Then you get a little bit of blue tack. So if you are using another brand or it's not compatible somewhere, then you're going to want to use this blue tack to help stick it to whatever body you got. Maybe you buy this for something completely different. You're building a Henry Cavill own like Clark Kent thing, and you got a suit body or something. So the neck pegs are just necks. They look just like that one, but they're designed specifically for SH Figuarts or the Mafex versions of Superman. Now, this is Manipple. This is Manipple. Worst brand. So I don't need these, so they can go away. Now, looking at the detail of the head sculpt of this Henry Cavill, it honestly looks really, really good. But the eyes are a little scary. Look at these eyes. They're kind of just pure black looking. Kind of makes him look like he's got little beady rat eyes or something. But the sculpt is stunning. I don't know how they're getting facial stubble at this scale, but this is really nice. This is a very, very well painted Henry Cavill head, because that is There's no question about it of who that is. And at 1/12 scale, it's crazy. That's like Hot Toys level detail on a tiny little face. Now you would think this would just pop right on. It also looks a little tiny when you put it up there. Is it small? Is the head too small? I'm guessing that this is going to have to come out to work on that body, but if they made their own products, why are we in this scenario? It seems a little odd. All right, if you get the right tool, you can pry that out. Let's see if that solved our problem here. I mean, it does go on, but it doesn't have like a satisfying pop noise because I think it's just locking around his neck, not the joint. What's the deal? So I'm not really sure if I got the right thing or not. This seems a little odd, doesn't it? What is this? Did I buy the wrong head? That doesn't make sense. It looks a little weird, right? Is this? No. I don't want to buy another one. I mean, these head sculpts are like 40 bucks, so. So it turns out that there is a 1.0 head, which I guess is the one that I have, and a 2.0 head, which was made more in line to go with this figure or the body. Put it into my old video here that previously was unreleased, but I eventually got the new head, which looks like this. Much better scaling, great likeness. Again, I'm just, man, it's just kind of a bummer to spend, I don't know, 40 and 40 again for another one. It also came with an extra neck peg for whatever reason. Definitely meant to go onto some other figure that I don't know about. And then, even though the body came with punching hands, this set comes with punching hands again. Fists. So it's clearly meant for some other figure, but the head can be used here, and it actually pops onto the thing. So this is the proper one for this figure. I don't know what these other parts are for. This hand is huge, but whatever. As far as if you could get this setup done the right way, then yes, it's stunning. It's really, really nice. It still has the same issues. It definitely needs a wire in the cape. Now, as far as like a good looking Superman, especially at 1/12 scale, you want movie accuracy. There's a lot of good things going on here. Does it need some improvement? Yes. And again, I recommend checking out that video just to see those improvements. And maybe I should have paid a little bit more attention to see which head he bought. Because something's wrong. I mean, you get into a dynamic pose, I guess it seems okay. But there you go. That's a look at your Henry Cavill Superman. Is he worth the hassle and the pain in the butt? And I don't know. I can't answer that because I'm not really sure how I feel about it right now. Or, well, I'm going to end the video because I'm still not sure how I feel about it. If you want to see more stuff from 5K Toys, then click the top link there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.